Humanity is running out of time. Our planet is heating, the air is choking, and the systems that once powered progress are destroying the very world we depend on. But across the globe, scientists are building technologies that could pull us back from the edge. Projects so bold they might not just slow climate change. They could reverse it. Stay until number 1, because the final project could redefine how civilization itself survives. These are the 8 green energy projects that could save the planet. 8. Small modular reactors. Nuclear power once terrified the world. Now it might save it. Small modular reactors, or SMRs, are compact nuclear plants that can fit on the back of a truck, yet produce enough energy to power an entire city. Unlike massive high-risk reactors, SMRs are built in factories, sealed for safety, and assembled like industrial batteries. They use low-enriched fuel, passive cooling, and automatic shutdown systems that prevent meltdown before it even begins. Companies like NuScale in the United States and Rolls-Royce in the UK are leading the race. China and Canada have already begun testing prototypes in remote regions. Each unit can operate for up to 10 years without refueling and produces less than 1/10 of the waste of traditional nuclear plants. It's clean, consistent, and, for the first time, truly safe. Nuclear isn't the villain anymore. It might just be the last dependable hero in our fight for a zero-carbon future. But while the atom is being reimagined, the sun itself has never been so powerful. 7. Solar power towers. In the Spanish desert, a silver tower rises above a field of mirrors that shimmer like water. This is the 10 Solar Tower, the world's first commercial solar power tower. Thousands of heliostat mirrors track the sun and concentrate its rays onto a receiver at the top, heating molten salts to over 600 degrees Celsius. That heat drives turbines long after the sun has set, delivering power day and night. This is concentrated solar power, CSP, one of the most efficient ways to turn light into continuous electricity. In China's Gansu province, newer towers now generate over 100 megawatts each. In Dubai, future installations could power hundreds of thousands of homes from a single desert. No smoke, no noise, no moving parts, just sunlight reflected perfectly into power. A single solar tower field could replace dozens of fossil plants. It turns empty deserts into engines of light, and proof that the brightest solutions can rise from the hottest places on Earth. 6. Ocean battery systems. Beneath the waves, engineers have found an entirely new way to store energy. Ocean batteries use the sea itself as a giant pressure chamber. Imagine massive hollow spheres anchored to the seafloor. When there's surplus electricity from wind or solar farms, pumps expel the water. When demand rises, the ocean pushes that water back in, spinning turbines and generating power on command. Dutch company Ocean Grazer has already tested this concept off the coast of the Netherlands. It's silent, self-sustaining, and invisible. No land use, no pollution, and almost infinite capacity. The ocean is no longer just water. It's a global battery waiting to be charged. And while the deep sea becomes our energy bank, the air above it is being harvested in ways we've never imagined. 5. Wind turbines. Without blades, wind energy has reshaped the world. But traditional turbines come with problems: noise, maintenance, and danger to wildlife. Now, engineers have reinvented the concept entirely. The Vortex bladeless system looks like a slender pole vibrating gently in the wind. Those oscillations are converted directly into electricity through magnetic induction. No gears, no blades, no friction. It's silent, bird-safe, virtually indestructible, perfect for urban areas where traditional turbines can't operate. Offshore, engineers are building floating vertical axis turbines, stabilized by gyroscopes that keep them upright through storms. Each can generate up to 50% more power than standard turbines, while being fully recyclable. Wind energy is no longer confined to open plains. It can rise from rooftops, float across oceans, and hum quietly among skyscrapers. Clean energy, without a single feather disturbed. But sometimes, the most revolutionary ideas come from the simplest materials imaginable, like sand. 4. The sand battery revolution. In Finland, scientists have built one of the most elegant energy systems ever designed, and it's literally made of sand. Inside a steel silo, 100 tons of sand are heated by excess renewable power to more than 500 degrees Celsius. The sand holds that heat for months, which can later be released to warm buildings or generate electricity on demand. Unlike chemical batteries, it doesn't degrade, leak, or rely on rare metals. It simply stores heat, safely, silently, and endlessly. China and Canada are now scaling the idea to industrial levels, stabilizing wind and solar grids during harsh winters. The sand battery is proof that sometimes the future of technology starts with the oldest material on Earth, turning dust into dependable power. But while one group builds storage beneath our feet, another dreams of floating entire cities on the sea. 3. Floating solar cities. As the oceans rise, humanity is rising with them. Architects and engineers are developing floating cities that generate their own energy, recycle their own water, and feed their own people. Projects like the Oceanics Busan in South Korea and similar prototypes in the Maldives are built from interlinked platforms covered with solar panels, tidal turbines, and vertical gardens. Each module can house up to 10,000 people, forming carbon-neutral cities that drift with the tides. They collect rainwater, compost waste, and use seawater for cooling and irrigation. It's a complete ecosystem, resilient, self-sufficient, and scalable. The United Nations has endorsed these concepts as blueprints for coastal survival. They aren't just futuristic architecture. They're lifeboats for civilization. If we can make cities float, then humanity can adapt anywhere. 2. Fusion power reactors. For 70 years, scientists have chased one dream: to replicate the power of the sun. Now that dream is finally within reach. Fusion reactors combine hydrogen atoms into helium, releasing energy 4 times greater than fission, with 0 carbon emissions and almost no waste. Projects like ITER in France and Spark in the United States are building the largest and most advanced magnetic confinement systems ever created. In 2022, the U.S. National Ignition Facility achieved what physicists call break-even, producing more energy than the reaction consumed. Private companies like Commonwealth Fusion Systems and Tokamak Energy are racing to commercialize compact versions before the end of the decade. Fusion could power entire nations with nothing more than a few cups of seawater as fuel. Clean, infinite, limitless. It's the closest thing humanity has ever built to bottled starlight. But the most extraordinary renewable project of all uses nothing but air and gravity. 1. The Solar Updraft Tower. In the Australian desert, engineers are preparing to build a 1-kilometer tall tower that generates electricity from thin air. A massive glass canopy surrounds the base, trapping sunlight and heating the air beneath it. That hot air rises through the tower, creating an updraft that drives turbines day and night, powered by the ground's stored heat. No fuel, no emissions, no noise, just convection, the physics of rising air, scaled up to power over 200,000 homes. The concept, once proposed in the 1980s, is now finally viable with new materials and simulations. China, Australia, and the UAE are reviving it at gigawatt scale. Each tower could turn a desert into a permanent power station. A single field of them could light the world. The Earth doesn't need to burn to shine. From reactors that mimic the stars to batteries made of sand and towers that breathe sunlight, these projects prove one thing: the solutions to our survival already exist. They're bold, silent, and scattered across deserts, oceans, and laboratories. But together, they form a blueprint for hope. The planet doesn't need miracles. It needs commitment to build what we already know can work. The question isn't whether we can save Earth. It's whether we'll choose to. Which of these technologies gives you the most hope? Would you live in a floating solar city or beside a reactor that powers the future? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more incredible breakthroughs shaping a cleaner, brighter world. Because the race to save the planet is already underway.